What's going on, everyone? So, the NBA, right, as a whole, is trying to keep parity. They're trying to prevent, a Kevin Durant to the Warriors situation, right? They're trying to prevent super teams. Right? They want as much competition as possible. They want as many teams to be able to win as possible. With the new CBA and all the restrictions with the aprons and all that, it makes it very difficult to now build this insane super team. I do think that there needs to be some tweaking, right? Like, I do think, like, if I draft really well and I get my players and I build my players and I build my team, like, I don't think I should be punished for that, because now you look at the Warriors, for instance, right? Like, they did things the right way, and now they're going to end up losing key guys most likely because they did things the right way, but they created a new CBA and they want to prevent that. The Spurs in a couple years could be in that situation where it's like, hey, we're going to have to make some tough calls here. You might have to trade some guys, get off of some guys, right? You might not be able to pay everybody. So there's going to be, again, they might lose a couple key guys that they didn't want to lose because the new CBA, the new aprons and all that stuff. But something I think is interesting is, and these could just be outlier situations, right? But you have guys now playing later and later in their careers, older and older. I mean, obviously LeBron, Steph Curry, Kevin Durant, right? Kawhi Leonard probably could still play another 5+ years, right? Like, you have a lot of guys and a lot of skilled guys that can play until late. Like, Jokic could probably play until he's 40, right? Like, Luka could probably play until he's 40, right? There's certain guys that you see that you're just like, their games are going to age really well, right? And so I wonder if that will be at some point, the new super team, right? You might get that this offseason, literally, right? Like, there is a chance that LeBron James and Kawhi Leonard could team up either in LA, Golden State, teams like that. Cleveland, there's a chance that you could get Giannis Antetokounmpo and LeBron in Cleveland. If the Cavs are willing to trade Evan Mobley, that's a real possibility, right? So again, there are multiple scenarios here where you might end up getting a super team, whether you like it or not, right? And yes, some of it is circumstantial, some of it is outliers, right? Like LeBron's age, where he's at his stage of his career, still he's still arguably a top 10, 15 player in basketball, right? The guy is ridiculous, right? Like, his stats are his stats because he's playing as the third option. He still could go get you 38-8 at this stage. He's done it, right? Like, so that I think is interesting. Then you have situations like, Kawhi Leonard, where they might void his contract, and then if they do, then he's going to be able to sign in new teams, new situations, which he may end up signing with a team like the Lakers, right? He may end up signing with a team like that and go like, hey, there's always the potential that players just take less money, right? I mean, that's how LeBron, Wade, and Bosh ended up doing that, right? Like, they all took a discount. You could end up getting a scenario where, whatever, Anthony Edwards, whatever, Cade Cunningham and Victor Wembanyama all go like, hey, let's play together. And they all just take $40 million each rather than like $70 million by the time they could actually do that, right? Like, end up making it work. I don't know. You never know, right? There's always, like, you're never going to fully be able to prevent a super team if a team wants to build one, or like if players want to build one. And even then, I mean, we've had some like ridiculous paper teams, right? Like, but again, paper doesn't always translate, right? I mean, you look at, even like a team like the Warriors, and it's like, man, like, you got, Steph, Jimmy Butler, Draymond Green, Kristaps Porzingis, right? Like, on paper, it's like, man, that's ridiculous, right? But paper doesn't always translate. But my thought process is like, as we progress and you start getting these players, right? So, I don't know, say like Anthony Edwards, right? 15 years from now is still like out of his mind and still just really good. But like, teams are reluctant because it's like, man, he's, whatever he'd be at that point, 40. And it's like, do we really want to pay him $80 million a year at this stage of his career? You might end up getting something where once you reach a certain age, teams are going to be reluctant to sign you long term, one, and pay you long term. Could there be a Kevin Durant to the Warriors scenario where, again, like, just sticking with Anthony Edwards, for example, and he was just because he the first guy that popped in my mind. But like, could there be something where, again, Anthony Edwards just goes like, hey, I'm going to go play with, Victor Wembanyama in San Antonio. All right. And Dylan Harper's become, a top 10 player in basketball, and Stephon Castle and stuff. It's like, yeah, me, Stephon, Dylan Harper, Victor Wembanyama, right? Like, I'm willing to buy in. I'm willing to play be the third, fourth option, whatever, right, at this stage of my career. Right? Like, again, and you could argue, okay, because age stuff, but like, again, medicine's only getting better. Guys are only going to be healthier. Guys are playing longer and longer than ever. I mean, there's some players that like, their games are probably going to just not be super great just because, again, they're so reliant on their athleticism and stuff like that. But like, there is also a lot of guys like Luka. Like, Luka could probably play till he's in his 40s. Because it's not like he's like super athletic and relying on his athletic. Like, Jokic could probably play till he's in his 40s, right? Like, there's guys that you look at and you're like, man, those guys could probably play forever, right? Like, their games will age well regardless. And then now you end up having the scenario in the situation where it's like, wait, we just created this like super team because these guys are so good still at this stage of their careers. I don't know. It's something that, again, it was just kind of a thought. I was doing another video talking about, the Kawhi and LeBron situations and stuff like that. And I was just like, like, I wonder if that'll be at some point, right? Like, again, like I said, I mean, that could literally happen this upcoming offseason, right? Like, but is this kind of more of an outlier thing? Or will we see more of this, right? Will we see more guys play in their 40s, right? You also have to want to play that long too. You get a lot of guys that are like, like Jokic just said, like, I'm not playing. Like, even Lucas been like, I'm not playing that long, right? Like, so there's a lot of guys that, like, you'd have to not only be talented enough to play that long, but also want to play that long. Want to, hey, I'm 41 and still want to, play basketball, and I'm still one of the best players, in the league, right? Like, there's a lot of factors in that, but like, again, it's just, you might get some teams that just have some, like, because there's always been, like, Carmelo on some teams, like, you had like, like the Lakers team with like Westbrook, Dwight Howard, LeBron James, Anthony Davis, right? Like, and it just, they were all too old, right? But anyways, always, this is a discussion. I pass question to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out. Me enjoy these types of videos. Truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.